y'all, come on in. Welcome back. I think I said in the last video that I wanted to venture off into the moccasins, rabbit skin moccasins again. But I kept wondering, with the cost of the material and all of that, they're going to be, well, by the time you get your labor and all of that in there, cutting out the pieces, the time it takes, everything involved, coloring, everything involved in it, it's just going to take some time. So we did a little bit of math on it, Judy and I did. And what can we do? It's going to be pretty close to around $250 to $250 to $300 for a pair of those rabbit skin fur-lined moccasins. Handmade, hand-stitched, all of that good fun stuff. So what can we do to entice the ladies, if you will, to be willing to spend that kind of money for a pair of house shoes, even if they are handmade? I don't know, folks. Not sure I would. So how can we step it up? How can we take it to the next level where somebody might just consider it? So I saw a video on YouTube. I do have a purse project coming up from my boss, and she saw somewhere a lady had a purse to where it had some flowers that were actually, they weren't tooled into the leather itself. They were actually, lack of a better term, they were sticking out of the leather. But they were still leather. What do you want to say, 3D, or I don't know. I don't know what the term would be for that. So anyway, I saw a video. A lady took just some ribbon, just some standard ribbon, and she made a rose out of it. I thought, well, you know what? I've never done this. So let's just give it a try. See how it works. So I took some of the cut-off pieces. Y'all remember the first attempt for the cell phone case? I told y'all not to throw this stuff away. Well, now it's getting a second life, or some other things. So I took several cut-off pieces. Old cut-off piece of the red pigskin that I used for the liner on the clutch purse and that stuff. So anyway, what I did, I watched the video. I got the measurements that she used off of the video. But she was using something very thin. She was using leather, or not leather, I'm sorry. She was using a silk ribbon. Well, okay, we're probably going to have to adjust that a little bit, just due to the thickness of the leather. So when she made it, or when she rolled it up to form the rose, it was just flat across the bottom. And that's how she displayed them. She just took some hot glue, and that's how she glued them down. Well, okay, that may work for ribbon, but it's not going to work worth a ding dong when you're dealing with leather. So I got to step it up a little bit. I got to see if we can do this, incorporate some flowers, and learn how to do that, maybe for the ladies, and see how they may like it. But I'm starting to get some lady subscribers out there, so I want to welcome y'all. But what we wound up with was this right here. And this is the red pigskin that I used. And then what I did on here. Now this is going to vary, folks, from flower to flower, leaf to leaf, whatever. So you're going to have to be aware of that. You're just going to have to work it out. But I had to change a few things from her measurements from that silk ribbon over to leather. But I took just some of that red pigskin and I cut, let's see, I'm going to hold this up here so y'all can see. These are all of the measurements and the changes that I had to make. So we need ribbon width. I need a 1/2 inch wide. I didn't change that. And 3.5 inches in length. I did not change that. Divide into 2 groups of 5 and 7. I did not change that. So your total is going to be 42-inch length of ribbon, or now leather. So we assembled that the first time, and let me just go ahead and go on down through here so y'all can copy this if you would like to. But what I added, and I'll show this, the rose bulb, where is it? Here it is. What I did was I just drew a, what was it, a 3-inch diameter circle in the center. And then the rose leaves that I chose for this particular rose of 3 1/2 inch diameter. So in other words, what I did is I came into the center of here and I drew another circle of 3 1/2 inches, and then I positioned leaves. Let me see if I can kind of demonstrate this for you. Here were the leaves, or here's the leaves that I chose for the bulbs. And then I just came in and I just laid them around that 3 1/2 inch circle all the way around. This is just a tracing film. Like I said, I encourage y'all to get you some of this. And then I went out to the outside of it there. And then once I got that done and got it lined up where I wanted it, then I just tooled it out the same way I would just any other leather. But I had it flat. Here's the leaves that I chose as if they were attached to the stem. They're on this first layer that I did right here. and then the leaves for the bulb, they're on a second layer then. And I used my largest hole punch that I have, and then I brought the pigskin down through the middle of both of those layers, and that gave me the effect that I was going after. But it kept bothering me. I didn't have these bulb leaves on there at first, and it kept bothering me that something was missing, something was wrong. And then it dawned on me that I didn't have these. After the bulb opens and the rose starts to bloom, I didn't have those on there. So I came in today and drew that out, and found the leaves that I wanted, and tooled all of that, colored all of it, did the super sheen. And now this is something you can do when you're drying. During your drying process, when you put the super sheen on there to seal it, if you want to put that super sheen on there kind of heavy, it will re-moisten that leather. And one thing you can do with leather if you want to mold it is while it's wet or damp, is you just take your finger or whatever, and you can mold it into the position that you want it, and then let it dry at that point, and it'll pretty much hold that shape. But I left it flat, just like any surface if I were tooling it on just a flat piece of leather. Did all of my tooling, did all of my coloring, did the super sheen, and it was after I put the super sheen on it is when I started to form it into the position that I wanted it. But back to start with, on the rose, if y'all want to attempt this, you take your adhesive, well, you fold these, okay, I gave y'all the dimensions, didn't I? Yeah, 3.5 inches in length. But then you put your adhesive on the inside of just one side, and then you fold them over. 3.5 inches in length. Your lines out here in the middle are not going to meet. That's alright, that's what you want. That's what gives you the effect that the rose petals are beginning to open and curl over like they naturally do. Something else I did is I came in. Y'all see where I cut these pieces out of that pig skin, that little white layer right there on the skin? That's the interior of the skin. What I did was I just came in with my red dye, and I just came along the edges, and I just hit those edges, and I got rid of that white. If I can show that good enough, maybe you can tell. Yeah, there you go. You can see where I just came along the edges there with that red dye and just hit all of those white edges. We found that the if you don't do that, then that white, it just drew the attention away from the whole project. So that's the reason why I did that. So anyway, after you get these folded and glued down in your assembly, you want to make sure you build an arch. That way when you get ready to and there's not a measurement on this, I discovered. It's not, there's not a radius on it. I guess it just all depends. I guess it just makes the leaves when they, or the petals when they open up, Just makes them form different. I don't know, but don't do them in a straight line. Otherwise, it's gonna want to try to corkscrew on you when you go to roll it up. And then what I do on the very end piece, or the very last piece, is I took the edge of it and I folded it over so that this will now become very tight, the very center. But what that'll also do for you is, see this little tail that I've got now? What I do, or what I did, is I pulled it down through the middle of both those layers that I've tooled the leaves on. And then this, I'll flatten it out as much as I can. And then it'll go on the inside of whatever I'm attaching this to. And I'll stitch it down. That way that'll hold your all of the assembly, all of your sub-assemblies in place. But anyway, there's some ideas that, like I said, just first attempt for me on one of them. And, you know, I guess you can call it luck of the draw or whatever. You just get lucky on the first one, then you can never duplicate it ever again. But that's the fun of it. It's a learning. But maybe for the ladies that have now joined the channel, or anybody really for that matter, if y'all want to make something for the ladies or whatever, then there's your rose made entirely out of leather. Personally, I think it turned out pretty good. So anyway, that's it for this one. It's going to be, I just wanted y'all to show that. Now that I've got this, these will be mounted on the top of the moccasins. And if you can visualize it, that's, maybe move it down here. I'll pull it through the layer like that, and then I'll glue this down and I'll stitch it so it'll hold everything in place. So that's the way I'm going to attach it. And anyway, that's it. That's something new for me, something kind of fun. And something I encourage also y'all to try. See how you do with it. Share it with me. I'd like to see it. So anyway, with that, that's it on this one. As always, don't be mean. If we're not willing to treat Jesus that way, then let's not treat each other that way. We're here to learn new things and trade ideas and learn some stuff and make things out of leather. I was kind of laughing with my brother there. I've got about 2.5 days invested in this thing. And we were kind of laughing with each other about God did what in only 6 days? Oh. Okay. Yeah, well, that's how it goes, I guess. Anyway, there it is. Until next time, adios. We'll start into the next phase of the moccasins. I'm going to start getting them laid out, get the rabbit skins laid out, and see if the second time around goes a little bit better than the first. So anyway, until the next time, adios.